Hey guys, Allison Gardner here for tip number 15 of how to live a healthy, wealthy, and wise life this holiday season. This one I have noticed that when I really go all in and commit, changes everything. And when I get sloppy, I seriously dive. I seriously tank. So the choice is yours. Do you want to soar or do you want to tank? Also, however, just because you have an off day does not mean that you're doomed for forever. It just means get back up and try again. And I think that that's a pretty big theme for life. It's just that we are always getting up and trying again, and that we practice self-forgiveness. As I learned in a training today, self-forgiveness is huge. That, however, is a training for another day. Unless you ask me. If you ask me, that can be a training for you today, but you have to ask me. So today's training is instead about how you raise the energy in your life. It helps you reach your goals faster. It gives you a positive air, and it gives you power to be conversation changers. Do any of you guys want any of those things? Does any of that appeal to you? All of those things appeal to me, because I can tell you, when I do not practice this one simple thing, I lose my power to change conversations for the best. When I lose this one thing, I lose perspective and I lose sight of where I want to go. So if you are seeking for these things, if you want these things in your life, there is one thing, just one thing that will change you. Do you know what that one thing is? To stop yourself from complaining. It is that simple and that hard. Because we live in a world where everyone complains. They complain about a coworker, they complain about their food, they complain about their family, they complain about the bus, they complain about the car. Sorry. But so many, it's like the universal language, which is so sad. Love and uplifting people and smiling should be the universal language, but so often how we choose to communicate is through complaint. Because we're like, well, everyone has a hard time. Yes. But because then everybody has a hard time and then everybody shares their hard time, you get this big pile of icky, oozy stuff. And then, as I learned, you all validate each other in being miserable. If we took a step back and we heard something and we went, that sounds really rough. Yes, it is okay to be empathetic. It is wonderful to be like, oh, that must be hard. Ooh, that must be frustrating. But the next thing that you do, so step number 1 is show some empathy. Step number 2 is say, what are you going to do about it? What are you guys going to do about what's going on? Now, that might feel like a terribly overwhelming thing to do in your life, to ask someone else. Like that, something that must be very not must. Let me start back. That could be something very overwhelming to ask yourself, let alone asking that of someone else. But have you noticed a difference between when you go at something and you go, oh, life is so hard, versus when you go at something and you say, you know what, maybe I don't know X, Y, and Z right now, but I'll learn them. For me, starting my business, trying to figure out what it was, I didn't even fully understand what an LLC was. But instead of going, oh, woe is me, I don't know what to do, I researched it. I figured it out. And do you know what I got out of that? Do you know what I gained out of that? 3 days later, I could tell you forward and backwards what I needed to know. And I feel empowered that now I know how to learn stuff. I know how to come to know things. Isn't that an awesome gift? That is what you offer yourself when you say, yes, my situations are hard, but what can I do to fix it? Or that's what you give to someone else when they say, oh, I just don't know what to do about it. Always empathize. Empathy is going to help people feel accepted so that then they are willing to jump into problem-solving mode. If you just tell them to get over it, for me, that doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. I'm working on that. But if you say, oh, that's really rough, what are you going to do about it? I am all in on making that change. So I'm so excited for you guys to put this in. And if tomorrow you're trying and you're trying and you're trying and you can only stop yourself once from complaining, when a complaint is about to come out of your mouth and you reel it back in and you go, nope, win. And you win like 5 times as many points if when that complaint comes out, you get your handy dandy piece of paper, well, a new piece of paper because you've thrown all the other ones away if you've been doing all the stuff from the last 15 tips. So you get your brand new piece of paper, your notebook that's almost empty, and you write down that complaint. And you look at that complaint and you say, you know what? Don't need that anymore. You crumple it up into a ball, you kiss it, and you chuck it goodbye. And you guys are going to see your life change so fast. I'm excited to watch my life change so fast because today I choose to kick complaint out of my life. I want to be a problem solver. I want to be a life improver. Not all the other things. I'm excited to see you guys on the flip side towards the brighter side of life. And I'm excited to hear what it is what changes you see in your life as you implement these things. Because guys, I just really want to see your lives get better. And I'm already seeing it. And I think you are too. Bye.